All right, we are back. I had to add a couple extra minutes just in case, so went over a little bit. Had a nice quick dinner. Okay, so we are back on the dropship after a betrayal mission. Damn periphery scum. So, alright. Back into it. And gonna mute because I'm gonna belch real quick. Alrighty. Let's see. Samir Meyer, my navigator. You need to start finding us better clients, Darius. I mean it. We've been slumming it on the ass end of the frontier for 3 years now, and we are drowning in debt. I am fully aware of our financial situation, Meyer, but I just can't conjure up any new clients out of thin air. Griffith, do me a solid and back me up on this one. Is this why you made me your commander, so I can break up fights and review financial reports? Choice B. If we're really that hard up for cash, we need to stop talking and start doing something about it. And C. No thanks, Darius. I didn't take command of this outfit to settle arguments. That's a cop-out. Let's take B. If we're really hard up for cash, we need to stop talking and start doing something about it. Yang, Chief Mech Tech. Hey, you'll hear no arguments from me. When we made you our commander, we all agreed to follow your lead. Darius, could you walk us through the details of this trouble we're in? It might help you if you broke down things point by point. Sure thing, Yang. Point 1. Meyer's right. We're in debt. Every C-bill we make technically belongs to the banks. C-bills is the currency of the inner sphere. Standard galactic unit of currency, named for Comstar. One C-bill value is valued at 1 millisecond of hyperpulse generator transmission time. HPG, yeah. If you're not familiar with Battletech lore, that will make absolutely zero sense to you. Comstar is basically in charge of all the interstellar communications. They run these, they're like a quasi-religious group, although there's more to them than meets the eye, but at this point that hasn't really come out. They run what's called hyperpulse generator stations. They're these big, basically comm towers that can beam stuff through vast distances of space. So they pretty much control all the interstellar communications. Point 2. This corner of the frontier is a dead zone for mercenary work. There are clients, but they're terrible. That's just a fact. And that's it. There are no other points. Option A. What's our best case scenario? How many jobs will it take to repay the loans? Option B. Why not just refuse to pay? We can afford to throw our weight around. We've got battle mechs. Yeah, that's really stupid. Option C. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we going to do about it? Okay, so let's do option C. Being pragmatic. I don't see what else we can do, Griff. I'm already serving up every legitimate contract I can find. Unless you want me to sidestep the Mercenary Review Board entirely, we're basically out of options. The MRB. Founded in 2789, the Mercenary Review Board, MRB, serves as an impartial broker of mercenary contracts. The MRB is overseen by Comstar, a communications giant that is famous for its neutrality. Yeah, they're not that neutral, but that's a story for another time. An essential component of modern military culture, the MRB ensures an even playing field between mercenary companies and their employers, and it is quick to arbitrate any breach of contract. Like the one we just had and we didn't get squat for? Okay. Okay. Go around the MRB? No thanks. Taking an uncertified job is a great way to wind up with a knife in your back. A. We just got betrayed on a board-certified contract, Yang. How much worse can it get? B. We're already taking a lot of risks out here. I don't want to compound them unless I absolutely have to. And C. It doesn't sound like such a bad idea to me. No guts, no galaxy, right? I'm going to take C because we do need to get out of this. Can't say I'm excited about inviting that kind of trouble, but you're the boss. Remind me again why we don't just skip town and head to nicer corner of the periphery? The periphery. The periphery is a region of space bordering and surrounding the inner sphere. I pretty much just read through this before, so we're not going to do it again. Continue. Because the banks and the jump ship crews have an arrangement. Until we pay up, they're going to keep us on a short leash. That's a good reason. Look, Darius, Meyer's right. We need to start earning some real money, and we need to do it soon. It's only a matter of time before something breaks down that I can't fix with duct tape and good intentions. Origin betrayed. I'm no stranger to betrayal, Yang. I lost my family to someone I thought was a friend. That doesn't change the fact that we need money. Option B, desperate times, people. Darius, you know what you need to do. Option C, at the end of the day, I'd rather go down fighting than wind up broke. I'll share my background with these guys. Yeah, boss. Much as I hate to say it, I agree with you. We need to sidestep the MRB. Guess I'd better get mentally prepared for the knife in the back, huh? It's settled then. I'll start digging for contracts outside the MRB system. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out for the best. It isn't like we've got all that much to lose. In the meantime, we need to find another paying job, and our prospects in the system have completely dried up. I'd recommend booking travel to a neighboring star system and see what the review board has for us. With any luck, we'll find enough work to keep us going until something better rolls in. Travel. The banks are holding your jump ship access hostage until we repay our debts. For now, we can only go between Urkurin and the nearby systems of Alloway, Bellerophon, and Detroit. Our top priority right now is we need to find work so we can raise cash. None of the contracts here are very good. I picked out the only viable one I could find, and it helpfully includes our travel fees as part of the deal. Come to the command center when you're ready to review it. All right, it's Marauders. We're gonna have to change that. We've got just under $1 million, and we just paid our finances for the month. Is there any? Yeah. Got up here in the corner here, finances normal, company finances. Yep. Pro tip: if you hit 0, it's bad. Morale. Maximum is 25. Oh, maximum is 50. We start at 25. Carried over into battle. Okay. Yep. Tech points. Tech points are generated each day and spent to repair and customize battle mechs. Okay. You can only apply to one mech task at a time, so they're queued. Okay, medical points. Same thing, but for the meat. So mech techs are for the metal, and the med techs are for the meat, aka pilots. So we're in a good place with that. And hey, little picture. Current location on ship. I'm on the ship. Leopard, hiring hall, store, command center, bricks, navigation, captain's quarters. Timeline paused. Local government. Okay, let's go to my captain's quarters because I can see. Yeah, it's customized with company. That's so cool. Little minis. A paintbrush and some paint. Okay. We can change our crest. I kind of like this one. It's actually kind of cool. Like the Atlas Death's Head type of look. Ooh. That's kind of neat. Viking type one. We won't spend too much time on here. Okay, that looks like the Eye of Mordor. Okay. Alright, let's see. It's kind of neat. That's very Witch King of Angmar. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that. We do need to change the name now. Let's go with Ragnarok's Fury. How's that? Ragnarok's Fury. It's gotta give like a cool Viking type name. That's what I was going for, so. Ragnarok's Fury, okay. Reputation. Oh, alright. What's the highest we can have? That's what I'm kind of curious. Well, everyone just is sort of meh with us. Alright. Alright. Finances. Okay. Everyone's getting paid. Oh, Medusa. We didn't have Medusa in the last mission. We had Decker, Behemoth, and Glitch. Alright. Big interest. Yeah, lovely. Upkeep on each of these. Not too bad. You know what? Let's go to the mech bay.
Welcome to the grease pit, Commander.
The grease pit. Yang, your company's chief mech tech. Speak with Yang to learn more about the mech bay. He can also teach you about customizing your mechs and using them effectively on the battlefield. Mechs and storage. Check the status of your active mechs and view your stores of chassis, weapons, and equipment. Active mechs can be repaired and refitted from here. Talk to Yang for more information.
Right. You need some work done, Commander?
Hey, boss. Welcome to the mech bay. My own little piece of heaven right here on the ship. Something I can help you with? I want an assessment of the Leopard. How much trouble are we in? Dunno. I mean, we're doing okay for the moment, but give it a few months, maybe a year. You know how it goes. Eventually, everything falls apart. I got a few questions about the mech bay. Yeah, then hit me with them. I'll do what I can to answer. I mean, I don't want to wax poetic or nothing, but the mech bay is where the magic happens. Boss. Oh, magic happens, boss. Duh, reading comprehension for the win. It's the beating heart of a mercenary outfit. Ooh, all sorts of stuff here. Tutorial. Alright, well, let's start at the top. Anything I should know about the mech bays themselves? Beyond each cubicle holding one battle mech? Not much. It's all about capacity. The more mech bays we have, the more mechs we can keep battle ready. And the more mechs we have battle ready, the more flexibility you have in your deployment options. Why use mech storage? For a few reasons. First, we have limited capacity in the mech bay, so we need to store the overstock for eventual sale or for use in the future. Second, we don't pay upkeep costs on mechs and storage. That's a business thing, though, not my department. Third, and this is important. Whenever we pick up partial mech salvage from the battlefield, I put it in storage for you. If we gather or buy enough partial mech salvage to complete a battle mech chassis, my team will assemble it right away. You let me know if you want to keep it in storage or have it readied for combat. Keep it in storage or have it readied for combat. Okay, wasn't me. Typo on their part, bad grammar. Shame on you, harebrained schemes, one mistake. The game's wrecked. Can't play. Didn't uninstall. Battle mechs are expensive as hell, so assembling one out of salvage is our best bet for expanding our roster. What happens when a mech goes into or gets readied from storage? When you send a mech chassis into storage, our mech techs, I keep wanting to say med techs, mech techs dismount all its weapons and equipment and place them in your inventory for use on other chassis. A chassis can stay in storage indefinitely, and don't worry about storage capacity, boss. I'll make it fit. Don't you worry. Now getting a stored battle mech ready for combat. A combat drop is a different animal. My techs will need a couple of days to bring an empty chassis up from storage. Once the chassis is back in the mech bay, you'll need to select its loadout from our equipment inventory so we can start a refit. The time and cost of a refit is dependent on the type and the amount of equipment you choose. Let me ask you about something else. Next one down. I've been wondering about the components you can put on our mechs. One of my favorite topics in the mech bay. You can browse all the equipment we have available in inventory. There are two types of components I can install on a battle mech: weapons and equipment. Tell me about ballistic weapons. Ballistic weapons such as the autocannon pack a good punch, generate little heat, and can destabilize an enemy if they hit it enough. But ballistics weapons are, you know, ballistic, so they require ammo, and ammo can explode if it takes a hit in combat, which is bad news all around. Yeah. That Shadowhawk in the last mission kind of proved that point pretty elegantly when his ammo exploded. Ballistic weapons are also pretty heavy and can take up a lot of space on a mech. Strengths and weaknesses, boss. Strengths and weaknesses. Energy weapons. I pretty much know all this, but I'm just reading it off for the sake of reading it off, because who knows, maybe they've changed some mechanics somewhere that I'm not aware of. Energy weapons don't use any ammo, but they generate a lot of heat. You might need to invest in additional heat sinks to keep your mech cool if you choose an energy-heavy loadout. Missiles. Missile weapons are my favorites. Yeah, they require ammo and generate moderate heat, but the pounding they deliver can destabilize an enemy faster than most other weapons. And having multiple projectiles in a shot means you're almost always guaranteed at least a single hit. Long-range missiles are also capable of indirect fire, which we saw in the last mission. If one of your units has line of sight on an enemy, it can act as a spotter for LRM-equipped units that don't. With a spotter, a mech equipped with LRMs can stay behind cover and arc its missiles to hit the enemy. A spotter can increase your launcher's effective range too. Granted, the enemy can do the same to you, but that's someone else's problem. Which is what happened in the last mission as well. They had some LRM turrets, which I never saw before I destroyed the turret generator, which were peppering my guys left and right. I don't want to sell short-range missiles short, though. They can generate incredible impact, and they do great damage. But you've got to be within knife fight range to use them. Not really knife fight, but close enough. Tell me about support weapons. Support weapons are lighter than the others. Small lasers, machine guns, that kind of thing. I programmed our targeting computers to automatically fire them after a melee attack if they're activated. Tell me about the other types of equipment you can refit on a mech. It's a big list, boss. I suggest you check the store in every system we travel to. You never know what you'll find. I can install stronger cockpits to reduce the injuries our mech warriors will take, arm actuators that increase melee damage, rangefinders that increase the range at which enemies can be visually acquired, all sorts of stuff. I'll take up critical slots on a battle mech. Some add weight too. Keep your eyes open for them and give them a good once-over before you buy one so you know what you're getting into. Now, putting powerful weapons and equipment on your mech is fine and all, but remember, the trade-off is always armor. You know how they say the best defense is a strong offense. If they aren't on the battlefield, don't skimp on the armor, boss. Or all that expensive equipment will get reduced to junk with the enemy's first salvo. Truth. I heard that some manufacturers have developed better versions of some weapons. True that. Different manufacturers tweak their weapons to deliver more damage, have higher accuracy, destabilize the enemy, a bunch of stuff. The trick is finding them. They're rare out here on the periphery, so when I see one in a store or a salvage pile, I always mark it with a plus for you, so that you can identify it easily. Let me ask you about something else. Alright, so we got through... Wow, okay, yeah. How do I repair my mech damage after battle? Wow, we got a lot more stuff to go through. Whenever you return from a mission, stop by the mech bay here to tell me which mechs you want to have repaired. I'm not going to assume anything. You run the outfit, so you tell me what to spend time on and money on. Time and money on. Okay, that's not completely true. If I see armor missing from a battle mech, I'm going to repair it automatically. It's standard operating procedure. We have so much scrap armor lying around that you should consider armor repairs to be free. Yeah, okay. Now, if you tell me to repair a mech containing destroyed equipment, the techs will strip that off automatically too. I'll list the equipment they strip, but you're going to want to replace it with something. Anyway, like I was saying, armor repairs are free. Internal structure, on the other hand, takes time and C-bills to fix. If a mech structure is damaged or missing, I'll flag that for you in orange. Just order the repair, confirm the time and the cost, and I'll get it into our work queue. What if I want to change a mech's loadout? Can I refit it with new weapons and equipment? Ooh, now you're talking, boss. Yes, I am. You bet you can refit a mech. You can repair it at the same time too. Just select a battle mech and order the refit. That'll bring it to the mech lab. What can I do in the mech lab? The mech lab is where you let me know what sorts of modifications you want to make to our stable of battle mechs. I can install new weapons and equipment, add or remove armor location by location, pretty much anything you want. All it takes is time and money. We've got plenty of both, right? Well, the time part, but not necessarily the money. Are there limits to how I can refit a mech? It's hardware, mid. Of course there are limits. Your biggest constraint are the chassis' weight and its hard points. I can't make a mech as heavy as I want. Well, yeah, you already know the answer to this. Negative. A mech's chassis can support only so much tonnage in weapons, armor, and equipment. So you need to keep its overall weight in mind when designing a battle mech's loadout. If your design is over a chassis' weight rating, we can't accept the work order. Now, there are ways of making things fit, of course. Trade-offs can be made, but you've got to be careful. We have the ability to remove armor from individual locations in order to squeeze more or bigger weapons on, but less armor is less armor. You don't want to wind up with something that'll blow over in a strong breeze. Trust me on that. I've seen it happen often enough to know. It's a hard point again. Each location on a battle mech contains one or more weapon mounts called hardpoints. Hardpoints are only designated for one specific type of weapon: ballistic, energy, missile, and support. However, most mechs contain locations with more than one hardpoint, so you have some flexibility in what you can mount there. Let's go back for a minute. There's something else I need to ask you. Okay. How do I know what a mech is good at in the first place? Great question. There are a lot of different battle mechs out there, and it's hard to know what they were built to do just by looking at them. I mean, I can, of course, but I'm me. You, on the other hand, you're going to need some help. Thankfully, I'm a helpful guy. If you check your technical readouts in the mech lab, you'll find that I've included some thoughts about each mech's off-the-rack purpose or stock role. They're only options, mind you, but you might find them useful. What happens after I order a refit? Once you confirm your work order, it's placed in a queue and other repairs and refits on your timeline. Remember, a mech will be unavailable for combat until its work order is complete, so plan your refits carefully. I suggest queuing them up before we head to the next system or to use our travel time efficiently. If you want to change a mech's placement in the work queue, select Manage Tasks under the timeline to reprioritize or cancel work orders. Okay, so I can select Manage Tasks under the timeline. So the timeline's up here in the corner in the upper right. And we can just move stuff around there. Okay, got it. How long do repairs and refits normally take? Depends on the mech bay conditions you're working in. A good mech bay with advanced scaffolding and equipment is faster than the one you'll find on a standard Leopard. Yeah. I display our mech base efficiency and mech tech points on your travel display under the finances and crew morale readouts. The higher the rating, the faster the repairs. Okay, let me ask you something else. You seem to know your way around a battlefield, Yang. Any advice? Sure, the better you lead in combat, the less work I have when it's over. Let's talk about heat. Yep, let's talk about it. I can't emphasize this enough. Watch your heat. Your mech warriors are sitting on walking fusion reactors out there. Using jump jets and firing weapons generates heat, sometimes lots of it. Decker was generating a butt ton of heat in his spider by all that jumping he was doing. He wasn't even firing weapons half the time. If one of your mechs gets too hot, you could do damage to its internal structure, or worse, shut down the engine in the middle of combat, leaving it a sitting duck. Yeah, bad. Very bad. How can I affect heat in combat? I already learned this from Mastiff 3 years ago. Each weapon system on a battle mech can be toggled on or off, and each time it takes action. Most mech warriors keep their heat low by toggling off weapons with lower chances to hit, which I've been doing. But sometimes you get a solid chance to hit with everything in your arsenal, and that's when you've got to experiment by toggling off a few off to make sure they stay below the red line. Yep. Watch the terrain. Moving your mech into water over ice helps cool them down too. How can I make a mech more heat efficient? He just said so. Note your mech's heat rating in the mech lab. Install more heat sinks if you can find them, and that it runs hot in combat. Yeah, well, that too. Heat sinks vent plasma from the mech's engine and do a lot to dissipate the buildup from jump jets and weapon fire. Heat sinks are your friend. Yes, they are. Well, let's go back for a minute. There's something else I needed to ask. I think we're done. Oh, no. Well, we got a whole bunch here. Let's talk about mech stability. Yeah, stability is a smart thing for a commander to understand, boss. Getting pummeled by weapons fire is a good way for a mech to become destabilized. Walking over rough terrain doesn't help much either. Destabilized mechs can't sprint in combat, and they're vulnerable to falling if hit hard enough while in that state. Yep, which is why you want lots of missiles. Because you hit people, and they fall over a lot, and then they can't fight you. Tell me about how to make my battle mechs less vulnerable to weapons fire. Dodge. Yeah. Evasion. Yeah. Cover. Yep. Bracing. Let's hear about evasion. Short form of this is, the farther your unit goes, the more evasive it becomes. Shooting a moving target is hard. Shooting a faster target is harder. Yep. When you order a mech to move in combat, note the number of angled chevrons your command software assigns it. The more chevrons that are displayed, the harder it will be to hit. Same for the enemy. I already knew this. Sensor locking an enemy removes 2 of its evasion chevrons and makes it easier to hit. Same goes for your unit, so be careful. Cover. Battle mechs are kind of big, aren't they? Yeah, well. Yep, but they're big and scary and dangerous, and they're harder to hit standing in forests than other terrain features. Standing behind buildings or hills is good too. If the enemy can't see you, they're gonna have a hard time hitting you. It's all about line of sight. Think about it. Think about it all the time. Your enemy is, I guarantee it. If they can see you, a little red eyeball will appear above them in your command software. Seen that. Mastiff taught me to brace my mech. But does that make it harder to hit? Nope, bracing your mech won't make it harder to hit, but it should buffer some of the damage you'll take by half or so. So think about it, eh? Alright, let's go back for a minute. Let me ask you about something else. Alright. Gotta be close to the end here. Well, that's it. That's enough for now. Tell me a little bit about yourself. That's a long story, boss. Shortest version I can give you. I signed on after I served my term in the Third Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. Third Succession War. Third Succession War began in 2866. Oh, when did it end? Oh, it signed in 3020. Okay, I was like, how old are you, Yang? When Coordinator Mayoga Kurita responded aggressively to rumors of the Draconis Combine's weakness, but the fighting spread to the entire Inner Sphere because the successor state's military capabilities had been dramatically reduced in the previous 2 succession wars. This conflict proceeded at a slower pace and with less intensity than the earlier wars. Treaties signed in 3020 and 3022 limited the fighting, and by 3025 the Third Succession War had effectively ended. The Capellan Confederation. The Capellan Confederation is one of the 5 successor states of the Star League. Located rimward of Terra, ruled by House Liao, the Confederation is the smallest and newest of the successor states, and often the loser in conflicts against the other powers of the Inner Sphere. It is an authoritarian police state with philosophical origins in a text known as the Corvin Doctrine, which argues for total subservience of the individual to the state. Citizens of the Confederation must earn their position and the benefits of citizenship through service to their community. The current leader of the Confederation is Chancellor Maximilian Liao, a shrewd planner and master manipulator, and a little bit insane. Where are you from originally? Bryant in the Confederation. You may have heard of our claim to fame, the Crowley Lizard Cow. an edible reptile indigenous to the planet Bryant. The meat of the Crowley lizard cow is considered a delicacy and is one of Bryant's few planetary exports. Okay. Oh, well, trust me, they're delicious. A lizard cow. Okay. Anyway, as the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place once. A tourist spot. Big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts, pale blue skies, emerald green seas, and a booming agricultural business. You know, the works. I never knew it that way, though. Stephen Amaris got to it a couple of centuries before I was born, and well, that was that. Stephen Amaris, the usurper. Born 2717, died 2779. As president of the Rimworld's Republic, Stephen Amaris expanded the Republican army and placed Republican agents in key positions throughout the Star League. He fostered a close relationship with Richard Cameron, while the First Lord was in his minority. When Cameron came of age, Amaris guided him towards policies that would move Alexander Kerensky's Star League Defense Force away from Terra and place Republican forces there instead. With these precautions in place, Stephen Amaris murdered Richard Cameron on December 27, 2766, and declared himself First Lord, beginning the Amaris Civil War. Kerensky raised the Rimworld Republic and returned to Terra to defeat Amaris' forces and capture him. Stephen Amaris was executed by firing squad in 2779. His remains were donated to the medical school of the University of New Samarkand. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors, they called them. The Star League put them in place. When Amaris took the system in his civil war, he had his troops use them for target practice. Without those mirrors, Bryant reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of wind-blown dirt, actively hostile to human life. Star League. From 2570 to 2780, the Star League was an interstellar council formed from the Terran hegemony, the 5 great houses of the inner sphere, and the territorial states of the periphery. The stability and prosperity of the Star League led to the flourishing of civilization and technology. The Star League ended in civil war when the leader of the Rimworld's Republic, Stephen Amaris, murdered the First Lord in a bid to usurp his position. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fit a planet's entire population into a handful of cities at its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far down you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly the poor, died in the early days. There's still a lot of overcrowding in Bryant cities even now. That's my childhood home in a nutshell. Way too many people jammed into a tiny claustrophobic space, with nowhere to go but off-planet. I cleared out of there as fast as I could and never looked back. Gotta admit though, I do miss the taste of lizard cow. Tell me about your time in the military. Who'd you serve with? The 2nd St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Ling. We saw more action than most. St. Ives Lancers, well-connected and well-financed regiment. The Lancers operated along the Capellan Confederation's rimward corridor, fending off pirates and conducting raids into the Free Worlds League. In 3025, its 3 battalions are allocated to the defense of St. Ives, Maladar, and St. Loris. The arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost the original back in 3010 on St. Loris. St. Lawrence is an important agricultural center in the Capellan Confederation. In 3010, a notable battle took place between the 2nd St. Ives Lancers and 2 regiments from the elite Seti Haussers, whatever, of the Federated Suns. Most of the planet's vital wheat crop was destroyed. You know, when we first arrived at St. Louis, I loved the place. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery. The Fed Rats drove us out in 05 with their tails between our legs, so it looked like paradise to us. Kittery. Previously under Capellan control in 3005, this inhospitable jungle world was conquered by the Federated Suns. A resistance movement kept the world in a war zone for many years. In the 3020s, House Liao returned and waged war for a more permanent liberation. So far, it has succeeded only in creating lasting enmity between the defending First Kittery borderers and the invading forces of the St. Ives Armored Cavalry. Fed Rats. Person living in or whose national origin is the Federated Suns. considered derogatory. Yeah. I remember kicking back in the mech bay, my feet propped up on an engine block, sipping on a sniffer of ambergris vermouth. Not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. The red is red and usually found in tiny bottles in port shops. Getting large bottles takes connections. Getting a crate of it, well... Anyway, turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us yet. We were there barely a month into our deployment when they sent the SETI Hossers to burn us out. I'm sure that there were sound strategic reasons for House Davian to want St. Louis, but it sure felt personal to me. I'm not going to read through all these. This is getting a little bit long. Long story short, one of their scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat. Rumble seat, I gotta see what that is. Optional secondary passenger seat that can be built into the control area of a battle mech. Rumble seats are positioned away from all control systems and ejection equipment. Those who ride in them have no control over the mech and are utterly at the mercy of the mech we're in the cockpit. Being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. I lost two of my favorite assistants and my own right arm. And I've got this ugly thing grafted onto me as a reminder. And yet here I am doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Yes, glad I'm not Federated Sons background, because you probably wouldn't like me as much then. Why'd you leave the compelling Confederation? After my tour duty was up, you mean? I don't know. It was just time for a change. Besides, the place wasn't for me anymore. In a way, it never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service. Got a first-hand view of the elitist bullshit that saturates compelling culture, how it rewards highborn idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I walked away and never looked back. Never really get away from the aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. For what it's worth, I'm glad you walked away. You've brought my mech back from the brink more than once. In your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else. Yeah, but you're a competent noble, and you aren't afraid to get your hands dirty at the end of the day. That's all that I really care about. I wonder how many times I watch talented engineers get passed over for promotions as some idiot with a title could advance. Too many to count. What it's worth? Way more than once, if memory serves. Still, I appreciate the kind words. And for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here with this crew. Going career military would have been an enormous mistake. Your position? Okay. Yeah, this has been a fun trip down memory lane, and I'm sure that we've both got more important things to worry about. Yep. Gotta get back to it. Talk to you later.
Come back anytime.
Sure thing. I do need to fix mechs, though, before I forget. Alright. Spider's damaged. Yep. Oh yeah, they repaired all the armor, so yeah. Minor damage. And this spider is going to cost me a few thousand. What have I got in storage? Nothing. Components? Oh, all right. Can sort by ballistics. Okay, so that brings them to the top, it looks like. Oh, show. Okay, so show only ballistics. So I got an extra AC2. Got an extra large laser. Oh, wait a minute. We got two extra AC2s. Got one large laser and two medium lasers. Looks like LRM and SRM ammo is generic. Got two extra SRM2s and an LRM10. And no support weapons. Okay. Equipment, I've got two jump jets. S. Standard. Okay. Like, what's an S? Standard are specially designed for use on mechs up to 55 tons. Okay. 4 extra heat sinks. Okay. Done in the mech bay. Let's go to the barracks. It's like a space shuttle diagram there. Barracks mech warriors. Okay. Oh, do I have XP? Oh, I've got XP. All right. So, it is my understanding that you can only go down 2 paths, and that dictates what your specialty will be. But you still can get all of these extra little selections here, like this next one is 5% base melee hit, 7.5 base weapon hit. I do need to increase my piloting, but I'm gonna wait here. Let's look at my... Oh, cool. Mech kills, other kills, injuries taken, ejections, days with company. That gives me my background, number of deployments. That's kind of cool. I already know this. Yep, that is my background. So, all right, let's look at Behemoth. Specialization Defender. Guts. Okay, keep them standing their ground more effectively through bulwark. Able to suffer additional injuries before becoming incapacitated. Can also better control recoil effects from weapons. So she's got 3 gunnery, 4 pilot, 5 guts, 2 tactics. Service record. Take a look. Other kills, days with company. Brave. For their bravery in the face of danger, military. Veteran of one of the military forces of the Inner Sphere. She's Lyran as well. Okay, so she's from House Steiner. Inner Sphere. Criminal. Checkered past has left them familiar with the criminal underworld. Spacer. Okay. Miranda Aguilera grew up in the Lyran Commonwealth. She was a tall kid who made a name for herself as the girl you don't mess with. At 18, she signed up with a small-time mercenary company to feed her growing wanderlust. Miranda went undefeated in her crew's drinking games and in the brawling that usually followed. When her fellow mercenaries turned to piracy, she was in. When they turned over a new leaf, she was out and looking for a tougher crew. Okay. Decker. I want him to get sensor lock. We'll wait though. Amir Kowalski. Service record. Mech warrior, spacer. Officer. Officer, one of the military units. Okay. Oh, he's Capellan. Right. Military. Oh, he's nobility as well. He's got command experience too. Amir Kowalski was brought up as a loyal scion of House Liao and sent to a military academy as soon as he was of age. There he did not disappoint his family name and graduated on time. After graduation, by family request, he was assigned as a naval lieutenant aboard a Capellan Confederation dropship. He served without particular distinction and was eventually transferred to a mech warrior unit, which suited his abilities much better. After another tour of duty, in which he developed the motto, "Any battle you walk away from is a victory," he decided he wanted to pursue his own goals and became a mercenary. Alright. Glitch. Okay, so he's got 3 gunnery, 4 pilot, 3 guts, 4 tactics. I am going to probably give him sensor lock eventually. I'm just not sure. I'm going to wait a couple missions before I do that. Make that decision.
I hear ya.
Glitch. Jessica Chernovskaya. She's got 5 gunnery, so she's a gunner. 2 pilot, 3 guts, 4 tactics. Yeah, 2 mech kills. Gunner, yeah, well, hey, that makes sense. Alright. Brave Federal. Ah, Federated Sons. She's a Fed rat. Inner Sphere, criminal. Jessica Chernivskaya was a peaceful and ordinary middle-class child, had a peaceful and ordinary middle-class childhood in the heart of the Federated Sons. But even in the heart of civilization, you're not safe from a glitch. It was a garbled bioscan that got Jessica committed to a maximum security prison and changed her life. Okay, after 10 years, her case was reopened, the evidence re-examined, and her name cleared, but it was far too late for the kid Glitch had been. She learned skills on the inside, and she applied them on the outside. Killing for money is surprisingly easy and lucrative, and elite killers can command high prices for their discretion and effectiveness. Yeah.
Waiting for orders.
Okay. What are these little... Oh. I have not chosen anything yet. That's what it is. So I'm curious.
What can I do for you?
Are these ranks of some sort?
Yes, Commander.
Ah, rank recruit.
Good to go.
Rank regular.
Standing by.
He's a recruit. I'm a recruit. Although I'm a commander as well. You cannot be killed in combat, but you can be injured or otherwise sidelined through normal means. Yeah. Okay, back to Medusa. 3 gunnery, 4 pilot, 3 guts, 3 tactics. Normally I'd take a quick break here, but I'm going to keep going because we're just doing a lot of reading, so... Let's see. We didn't use him at all. Ooh, he's from Regan space. Cautious. Periphery, officer. Military. He's a technician. Mohammed Benitez was born on one of Mekdur's lunar colonies and subsequently traveled with his prospector parents all over the system before moving to Katinka. There he attended a local technical school to augment the knowledge he'd picked up while growing up. He spent some time working as a tech on his parents' industrial mechs. Eventually craving more excitement, he hitched a ride on a mercenary dropship, where he soon talked his way into a battle mech cockpit. He's never looked back. Alright. I think we're good on that. So we've been to the mech bay, we've been to captain's quarters, Eric's command center. Is there a store? Oh, let's look at the hiring hall. Oh, I have too low of a rating to hire him, and he's expensive. Not hiring anyone just yet. Screamer.
Ready for orders.
Okay. Let's go to the store. Yeah, not buying anything here. I'm going to try to stick around 1 million on my funds for the time being. As close to that as possible, considering it's going to cost me... I want to keep at least 3 months worth of funds. That way I'm not going to be totally screwed at any given point. Alright, so... well, let's just look through here and see what they got. Weapons. No pluses. Equipment. Jump jets, okay. Mechs. We can sell stuff, but we don't really have anything. Wish we would have salvaged stuff off that last mission. I mean, screw those guys. We could have just taken everything.